Personally, I think that there should be a balance between work and life, and it is something that we rarely see today.
We work for our family, we work for our life, but we should not too much extreme. Just spend more time to work, because sometimes when we work more hour, we get money, but also it affects to our health.
If you can break in some barrier, you can go in and you can go on to work and balance on yourself.
Together, your work, your family, relationship, and your other activities, make the whole package.
To have personal time is part of our life. To be able to work is also part of our life. To have family is also part of our life. Then we see the interconnectedness.
There's so many roles that we have to do, especially if you're working and then you're earning less, then you have to look for other venues to earn extra income.
Balance is important because people have the same right, including right to work, men and women.
Because we have different aspects in our life, we have work, we have leisure, we have family life, we have career, we have, hobbies, interests. So how to maintain this balance in life is something that I think the generation of youth now is investigating.
In our inclusive and action-oriented definition of work-life balance, we say that everybody deserves work-life balance as much as anybody else, and together we will make it happen.
This project is not only involving attendees of the regional conference, but it's also about getting 2 million people, especially women and young people in ASEAN, to give their voices through social media, online forums, e-groups, and YouTube videos.
Kita harus selalu diingatkan tentang pentingnya work-life balance. Karena kita punya banyak waktu untuk tidak hanya untuk bekerja saja, tetapi untuk keluarga, untuk masyarakat, untuk negara, dan juga untuk agama kita.
I believe work-life balance is important because people need to know what to do first, what to do next, what to do on weekdays, what to do on weekends, what to do in the morning, what to do in the afternoon, at night. People need to set for themselves their priorities on how are they going to set their schedules.
So when you talk about work-life balance, when you want to promote that, people might think it's very airy-fairy. It's like, there's all these lazy bums that just want to have a laid-back lifestyle and they want to have this cafeteria-like in their workplace, No, it doesn't work that way. I think we need to orientate people to make sure that when we're talking about work-life balance, we're talking about, at the end of the day, actually productive people. So it's actually being responsible, having productive work, and at the same time, balancing other interests as well.
I think it's a challenge to communicate with company. Company wants more productivity, but when they look at work-life balance, it's my feel that work-life balance is opposite elements of make profit. So it's hard to communicate with companies.
It starts with the leaders, and it starts with embedding it into the culture. So there's an open door policy. You can approach management at any time, email anyone at any time. So I think those little things have to be embedded in the processes also. How do you make people open enough to be able to share? So if it's part of the system, then it can be part of the culture.
People with disability, they have potential. They would like to have the same life as the other people. So we have to try to find a way to improve quality of life for people with disability. For example, we provide vocational training school, we provide job placement, we run our call center, that people with disability who have any question or the employer refuse them, they can call to our call center. We also run a small social enterprise where we would like to support people with disability to have their own business.
Use any safety equipment when you go to your farm. Okay, for me, I just can wear my cap and not using any glove because I don't touch any chemical or any pesticide. So it's very safe. That means when you want to make farming sexy, you have to make it very simple and easy and very low cost in your input of production. So it means that the organic farming is the future for all people.
The thing about time is that people always say, oh, make time for this, make time for that. Actually, you can't make time. There's only 24 hours in the day. What you can do is manage time. The other part which I find people often forget is that learning to sacrifice, and that's one of the biggest challenges. It's learning what you can choose to sacrifice so that you can gain something else. I learned over the years to give up certain things so that I could value other things more.
We always talk about time management, you must schedule, you must take a daily planner, put. And the problem I found with that was that people try to keep fitting in more and more stuff, and they try very hard to manage that schedule, putting in as much as they can, right down to the last minute. And that's when actually your life is very imbalanced. They forget one of the most important things to make time for yourself.
I think definitely our planners in the government should look into more long-term solutions. Possibly, I would love if they could do something with the education system. So they're already on the lookout. Okay, from young, I already know I have to keep my life in balance by doing certain things.
The younger generation, they want to see different things at the workplace. They don't just want to have a high salary, but they want to have meaning in their work. So I think work-life balance is not just about striking a balance between the time you spend at work and the time you spend at home and outside, but also being able to strike a balance between the different types of work that you have to do in terms of the formal corporate work, but also other CSR-related work that actually contributes to a more meaningful job, especially for the younger generation.
Work-life balance is, I think the women face it more than the men. We were the traditional caregivers in our society. We took care of the children, we took care of our elderly, our parents and all that. So when we started going into the workforce, you had to work, and at the same time when you came back, you were expected to take care the traditional part, When you have young kids, it is much more difficult because you have to know how to divide your time between your work and also caring for the upbringing of your children. That's why I think it's important for the men to understand that with your wives are working now, we both have to share responsibilities. So balancing your life is connected to all sorts of issues, including communication skills, including parenting skills, including financial management and time management.
The focus is the work that you do, what you deliver. What's flexible is when you do it, where you do it from, and the hours you spend in delivering the work. So what needs to change in the corporate world is the mindset of presentism, that means you're present at work, is equivalent to commitment level. And right now, that is the key struggle that we face, where bosses expect you to be physically present at work, and the longer hours you spend at work is deemed to be the more committed the person is if you spend longer hours in the office. So this is something I would want to suggest that we move away from. The focus should be on the work that you deliver.
Every year we invite all the stakeholders or the segment of the people in the city to express the idea, to propose their needs, and we collect on everything, and then we formulate from their needs to my policy.
It must be a national agenda. It's not one person moving, one ministry moving on its own. It has to be everybody moving together. If you can, you have to set up a national task force to address the issue and come up with a national plan of action on work-life balance.
We truly need a network, partners. That is why we are implementing the private and public partnership. We need the support from outside, from external support.
Each city, I believe that we must know our strength and also our challenges before we have our vision. And good governance, we prescribe to the competency, accountability, and transparency.
The idea of work-life integration is that you stop seeing them as two wholly separate things. I go to work and I have a life. But to understand that you also have a life while you are at work. For example, let's say you work in a company that has offices in a few different countries. You maybe schedule some time, and I've seen this done, it's really interesting, for a coffee hour. But it's an internet coffee hour. So you're not just talking to your own colleagues, but you're talking to other colleagues from around the world. You're using some of your time at work to also learn about other people's lives. So that's one good way that it does. Another way is to encourage more exercise at work and to encourage people to get up, get out of your desk now and then. Have a life while you are at work.
Today, everybody has his iPad or whatever, and you have that at home, you have that at work, you have that when you go on holiday, you have that when you have your leisure time, and so on. And therefore, can be a tendency that work takes over every single part of your life. You're never really free because you always there also you have to strike a balance. Because if you go back, 20 years, we hadn't heard of iPads and so on, and it was a totally different setting. At least in developed countries, it was very, very different.
At first, I came here without any expectation. I just came here to do the pineapple opening ceremony, and that's it. After that, I would just want to go home. But as I joined the talks and the breakout sessions, it was really interesting, and I decided to stay on actually for 3 days.
I learned a lot. I learned so much. Met a lot of people. One of the things that we are campaigning is connectedness, and we as an ASEAN region sometimes don't get that much connection, and conference like this, it actually helps us to get connected to them, so it's just very great.
This conference is really amazing for me. Before, I think work-life balance is only few things work in life, how to adjust it. But in this conference, I realized about many aspects of the things support that work-life balance, like government and any organization, educate to them how to improve our life. Not only one family, but also in our community, in one district, one province, and then the whole country and the whole world.